Hello everyone. Um, this tutorial, it kind of outlines and defines some of the key details of the project that you're going to have to do this week. This week there's no specific materials that you have to read or assignments that you have to propose. There's only one thing, one larger assignment that it's going to be self-directed by you, divided in groups. I divided the class in 3 groups, and you can see the groups of what they are, which they are, and who is part of what group. And the idea is that you are going to produce this week a module, just as I have produced for the last 4 weeks. In this 5th week, you're going to produce something that is based on the kinds of things that we've been talking thus far. So you can think about some of the creative ideas, some of the writings and readings, and particularly based on the workshop that we experienced on Saturday. Right? The goal for this is to create 2 things. In one sense, a module. There's a written module that's going to outline some things that you do, things that for us to read, some things for us to watch, right? And as you look at the outline on Blackboard, you see that all the requirements and things that are there. The other part is to think that this module, this outlined collective project that you're going to do, will be something that you individually or you as a group will be able to use to kind of conduct a workshop, just as Michelle K. Shub did this past Saturday. So the idea is that you have creativity to do that. The idea is that you're going to see this week there's a couple of videos of things that we did on Saturday. They're kind of exemplars of both the kind of the thinking about composition and creativity, as well as some of the outcomes, some of the products, right, that we have experienced. So I have videos of different kind of presentations that we all did together on Saturday, and those are kind of exemplars of the outcomes that you want to have at the end of your module. Right, so thinking about understanding by design, there's 2 things in the 3 videos that you have there. One is kind of thinking about what you want in terms of creativity and composition, what you could do. And 2 are kind of 2 examples of the final products. So thinking about understanding by design, you could look both in terms of the rationale, which the one that where the speaker is talking a little bit more would help you define, and 2, you can think about, well, if those are possible final products, what would it look like if I established a model starting from that backwards, right? So those could be, for instance, 2 instances of 2 things that you would do for your model, right? Of course, the model will do something else, and will be some variations on that. There won't be exactly those videos, but those are examples for you to start, right? Those could be end points. But then you're going to start thinking backwards and saying, okay, so in order for that to happen, what would the students have to read? What would they have to see? What kinds of things, what kind of interactions would I provide? What kind of structures would I provide so that they could see that? Right? The idea is that you would organize this in such a way as to educate somebody that would then do this class for high school students, right? So advanced students. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you need to have in order for this project to be successful. First one, you need to start with a rationale, and you're going to see in the assignments that these are organized in 3 days. You have a part of it that is due on Wednesday, which is the rationale and the aims, with an outline of what you're going to do. So where are you going to start? What are the kinds of things you would think will happen throughout the module? And then you need to have so that will be not only the rationale, it's what is it that you're hoping to achieve and why to do something like this. And here you can think a little bit about the reasonings behind creativity, why composition, and particularly inserting the idea of that is kind of the theme for this module, which is doing music that matters. Right, so this interaction between kind of composition, creativity as a key, big thinking into that, and then this kind of more focused kind of motto that is doing music that matters. So each one of your groups individually, right, within your groups, you're going to create a rationale for your project. You're going to write something like that. There's going to be links, connections to it, and that's together with the outline, which is number 2. It's due on Wednesday. Then you need to start building the material for that, and that's due on Thursday night. Right, and that's number 3 there, and number 4. So you have some 2 external videos. You're going to have to create a video of your own, or at least one, but it could be more, audios, tutorials. You're going to have to connect to web links. There needs to be 2 research papers and 2 kind of general things, articles that, or materials, or a PDF or a PowerPoint, whatever you like. But at least 2 research ones and 2 that are more directed toward the practice. Right? Anything else that goes, anything else it's feasible, and then anything else would be fine. But that's the kind of the collection of the materials. And then you finalize this all by kind of organizing a way to assess this. And so some of the assignments you might create will be connected to assessment, of course. You might want to create a little rubric to organize this. So you need to figure out some of those things. The rules of the project are that everybody must participate, right? But you don't have to everybody be involved in anything. I set up some Adobe Connect links that will be able to, you can just send an email and join and meet online within your group, right? So that each group has their own Adobe Connect, and you can use that throughout the week, and you can just go in and set up a time and without me present link and do that. You can obviously collaborate via Skype, via email. You can meet in some kind of real way as well. But you need to do that right away, right? I mean, beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and kind of get on to that and get going with that project. The second rule is that you need to have something that is experiential in the process, right? And then the third one is that you need to be creative. You need to kind of figure out a way to kind of use that as a teacher and as somebody that would present the final goal is present this as a workshop, both for kind of young teachers, but also with kind of very specific things that high school students would be able to do. Okay, I'll set up some. I'll have some time, some office hours, and I could do that virtually as well throughout the first 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if there's any questions, there's any issues, your group can set up that with me, and we can all meet briefly and talk about some of the things that you want, or individuals can be part of the process, right? Work well in groups, but also delegate, right? Also make sure that you are able to have specific tasks that are directed by specific people, but that from time to time, and you can organize that, in the 2 or 3 individuals meet, the whole group meets, 2 people meet, somebody works by themselves and then brings ideas back. The idea is to do something throughout the week, and Sunday is the final deadline for the whole project, which can be developed either as a document, right, with everything in there, or as a live web-based thing like a Prezi or a website or something else like that. Okay, I hope that helps, and we'll continue the conversation. I look forward, I'm sure that working in groups and kind of thinking about this broad picture will be very helpful and very interesting and generate a lot of information and learning. Right, you are at the helm right now, leading that. You're going to lead us into this learning exercise for this week. Okay, bye-bye.